When does she truly start missing you, not out of boredom, but from a deep, aching realization? Have you noticed that the more you chased, the further she drifted? Yet the moment you went silent, something shifted. This isn't a game. It's the quiet strength of stillness. Today, we'll explore 11 subtle moments when she begins to miss you for real. So when does she genuinely start missing you? Not the "I'm lonely" kind of missing. Not the fake nostalgia. But the kind that shakes her to the core. The kind that makes her realize you meant more than she ever admitted, even to herself. It doesn't happen immediately. Not when you text. Not when you chase. It begins the moment you disappear with dignity, when you become calm, rare, and quietly unshaken. Let's start with the very first moment, the silence after the storm. After a breakup or emotional fallout, feelings are intense, but then everything quiets down, and suddenly your silence becomes louder than any words you could have said. That's when the first seed of missing you is planted. Because during the storm, it's easy to lose each other in noise. The shouting, the texts, the tension, it all drowns out meaning. Harsh words were said by both of you, but now, with no reply, no reaction, no defense, your silence becomes impossible to ignore. At first, she'll convince herself, we both needed space, but your silence isn't just space, it's intentional. You're not sitting by the phone, waiting. You're not sending late-night paragraphs. You're not watching her stories, hoping. You've chosen stillness, not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to hold it. Picture this. She unlocks her phone, expecting a message, a missed call, something from you. But there's nothing. No text. Not even a like. Days pass, a week, and suddenly that absence becomes heavy. What she used to take for granted, your energy, your care, is now gone. And in its place, silence. She starts missing more than just your voice. She misses your calm, your grounding energy when life felt chaotic. You didn't beg to be seen, you were simply there. She scrolls through your old messages, plays a song you once shared, laughs at a memory, only to realize she's laughing, alone. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." It's not your absence that hurts her. It's what that absence means. It means you're done waiting. You've chosen peace over persuasion, self-respect over seeking validation. You're no longer volunteering for confusion. You've taken back everything she overlooked and placed it within yourself. This is where reflection begins, for her and for you. You realize your calm is powerful. That not reacting doesn't mean you don't care. It means you finally care more about yourself than the chaos, the chasing, the drama. So if you're sitting in that silence now, don't rush to fill it. Let it breathe. Let her feel it. Let her sit with the echo of what she thought would always be there. Because when the storm is over and the noise is gone, what remains is truth. And sometimes the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all. Before we move on to the next insight, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced that kind of silence, not out of anger, but out of peace? If so, share your story below, or simply write this: my silence wasn't empty, it was full of strength. Now let's move to the next moment that slowly but powerfully makes her miss you even more deeply. When you choose silence, you don't vanish, you leave a space. And what she starts to miss isn't because you're chasing her, but because your presence used to be part of her daily rhythm and now it's gone. Inside her daily routine, once quietly filled with your presence, there's now a subtle chill. The rhythm she once overlooked wasn't just habit, it was you. Let her feel that emptiness. Not out of revenge, but because you're no longer willing to be a background character in someone else's story. Your silence doesn't mean you stopped caring. It's the discipline of care, the kind rooted in self-respect. And when she finally recognizes what's gone, she won't just miss the man, you. She'll miss the version of herself that felt calmer, better, more whole, simply by having you woven into the fabric of her everyday life. She meets other men, she tries to move on, but something's off. The depth isn't there, the calm is missing. The way you simply held space for her, gone. They try to win her over. They talk loudly, buy drinks, crack jokes. But you left a mark, not by showing off, but by showing up. At first, she might not notice, but over time, the contrast becomes crystal clear. These men bring noise, you brought presence. You didn't chase her approval, you didn't need to dominate the room. You were steady, grounded, and that contrast, it lingers. Maybe she's on a date right now. The guy says all the right things, trying his best, but her mind drifts. Not because she wants it to, but because her body remembers. It remembers how safe it felt with you, how you didn't fill every silence with noise, how your calm made her feel more grounded, not more anxious. And that is something no man can fake, because it wasn't a tactic, it was who you are. Stoicism teaches, don't compete, don't grasp, don't need the world's praise to feel your worth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. You lived that truth. You weren't trying to outshine anyone. You simply chose integrity, presence, and inner strength. And now, no matter how many men try to impress her, she feels the difference, because here's the truth. Most men try to stand out by performing, but a rare man stands out by being at peace. When others don't measure up, it's not because you're competing, it's because she's finally recognizing true presence. And once she's felt that, everything else feels shallow, short-lived, forgettable. And then, one quiet morning, she looks in the mirror and doesn't just remember you. She remembers who she was when she was with you. And for the first time, she realizes she hasn't seen that version of herself in a long time. She doesn't just miss you as a person. She misses how she felt with you, the grounded calm that no one else seems to bring. And now, staring into the mirror, she starts to quietly ask, what's truly missing? So I want to hear from you. What did your mirror moment look like? That moment when you realized it was never just about her. It was about who you became in her presence, because sometimes the deepest reminder of your worth isn't found in who misses you. It's in who you've become without them. You used to check her stories, like her posts, maybe send a quick reply. You were familiar, present, quietly consistent. To her, it was reassurance, a silent signal that she still lived somewhere in your thoughts, but now, nothing. No likes. No views, no reactions. The shift doesn't scream, but it's loud where it matters most. Because here's the thing, it's not the fights that echo the longest. It's your absence in the places where she expected you the most. And this silence, it isn't bitter, it's deliberate. When a man pulls his attention back, stops standing on the sidelines of someone else's story, he comes home to himself. That's when his strength sharpens. She checks her story views expecting your name. And when it's not there, something unsettles. That subtle anxiety. Why isn't he watching? Begins to stir. She didn't just lose your attention, she lost your energy. From a Stoic perspective, attention is currency, and you, as a grounded man, no longer spend it on what doesn't nourish your peace. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." What's changing isn't just your action, it's your evaluation. You're no longer impressed by shallow validation. You've quietly raised your standards without needing to say a word. Let her wonder, let her feel the shift. This isn't punishment, it's self-respect, the refusal to keep feeding a connection that no longer feeds you. When you stop watching, you remove the stage she once unconsciously performed on. And in that pause, that withdrawal, she starts to realize what your presence once held: depth, intention, stability. So ask yourself, where are you placing your attention now? On someone else's curated life, or on building your own with clarity, strength, and presence? Because the moment you stop watching her is the moment she starts watching you. And then one day, amidst the chaos of her world, shallow conversations, noisy days, and stress, she suddenly remembers you were her calm. She doesn't just miss the peace you brought. She's now realizing it was your steady, quiet presence, your choice to simply be, that left the deepest impression. It wasn't cold detachment, it was full presence. You never tried to possess the moment out of fear of losing it. You simply showed up like a man who knows that time is a gift, not a guarantee. Because you were rooted so deeply in the now, those moments didn't just pass. They had weight. They had meaning, and now, long after you've stepped back with calm dignity, it's not your face she sees, it's your presence she feels. That calm certainty, that silent strength, the way your energy made the whole space feel still without ever saying a word. So if she finds herself staring at an old photo, or suddenly lost in a memory triggered by something as small as a scent, it's not because she misses the past, it's because the past still echoes in her present. That's the paradox. You didn't try to leave a mark, but because you didn't cling, you became unforgettable, and that's the kind of man Stoicism shapes. Not loud, not desperate to be remembered, but deeply felt, especially in silence. Let that settle for a moment. The fact that your calm, grounded presence could leave a bigger impact than any grand gesture ever could. That's the quiet power of emotional depth without emotional attachment. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment like this, on your end or someone else's? Drop your thoughts below, or simply leave this sentence in the comments. It wasn't the memory of me, it was the feeling I brought with me. Let's keep the conversation going, because next we're about to uncover a moment she never expected. She posts something to get your attention, a cryptic quote, a seductive photo. But this time, you say nothing. No like, no DM, no reaction. She thought your silence was temporary, but as she continues to catch glimpses of who you're becoming, one truth settles in. You didn't disappear, you evolved, quietly, unmistakably. She sees it through mutual friends on social media or in passing mentions. You appear different now, at peace, focused, unreachable. And it's not just the fresh haircut or the gym progress, it's the calm in your eyes, the grounded way you move, that quiet confidence that says, I'm no longer searching. I've
found myself. You didn't post a dramatic update. You didn't flaunt your success. You simply leveled up in silence, steadily, consistently. You stopped engaging in chaos.
You started investing in clarity. And now, when she checks your profile or hears your name, there's a shift inside her chest, a subtle sting of realization, not because you're gone, but because the man she once knew has outgrown the version
of himself that used to orbit her world. She remembers how easily you forgave.
How available you used to be, but now? There's a boundary, even through a screen. You're not cold. You're composed. You're not distant out of bitterness. You've simply realigned your standards, so don't be surprised if the energy changes, if her tone softens, if her gaze lingers a little longer when you cross paths. She's not just seeing you now, she's realizing what it means to lose a man who found peace without her closure. And if that hits her, let it. It's not your burden anymore. You don't owe her an explanation for your glow-up. Your only job now is to keep evolving for you. And then comes the deepest realization of all. She can't access you anymore. Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually.